what's up, guys? We're back with Grind Lifestyle. Today we have a guest host, Johnny Sidney Davis, who has a new country single, new country single out, and more coming.
More coming.
More on the way.
Yep.
He also owns the Volcanic Theater in Bend, Oregon. And then our guest today is Gary Bender. If you are on Instagram, TikTok, you've probably seen him around. So, let's just jump in, guys. What's up?
What's up, everyone?
How's
Thanks for
everyone
having me.
doing today?
Yeah. So I found you, I don't even know how I found you on Instagram, but I became a huge fan. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's good. What got you started in music?
Oh man, I've been involved in music since I was like 7 years old. I did the whole chorus and choir. I was doing the school plays, and I got solos and stuff like that. And then I think right around middle school is kind of where you kind of hit your stride and you kind of figure out what your niche is, what kind of genres of music you like, and whether or not you're going to be a guitarist, a singer, a bassist, a drummer, something like that. And probably around 7th or 8th grade, I started just dabbling on guitar. That's always a guitar in my house. My dad played guitar, but I never really took it seriously until I was probably a freshman in high school, that 7th, 8th grade. I got my first Squire guitar. And I just started trying to learn Green Day and Blink-182 songs, almost just like every other musician known to man, or Nirvana, or any of those bands that just kind of get you into wanting to holy shit, music is kind of cool. I want to sound like this. So it's kind of where it started for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, favorite cover of all time for you? What is it?
Oh my God, that's a great fucking question. A cover song? Oh my God, that's good.
Well, they pay me the big bucks.
Yeah. I want to say back in the day, Fearless Records put out these compilation CDs of pop goes punk, or pop goes metal, pop goes whatever, or punk, whatever. And honestly, I bought every single one of those because I was so enamored. Actually, Pierce the Veil did a really great cover on one of those, and it's phenomenal. I forget what song it was. I want to say, fuck. Oh yeah, am I allowed to swear, by the way? I got really bad sailor's mouth.
We can say whatever the fuck we want to.
Okay, cool. My bad. I'm originally from Jersey, so you're gonna hear me fucking yeah. It's got to be one of those songs off of one of those comp CDs for sure. That is a loaded question. That's hard.
I know. Now I'm Googling which song do they do, because I know what you're talking about.
Was it Fear the Reaper?
It might have been.
I feel like it was like a classic rock song, but it was fucking good. And it's funny because now all I hear are the current cover songs in my head. I know Bring Me the Horizon just redid Wonderwall, and also
it says Just the Way You Are.
That was another one.
Don't Fear the Reaper. Here it is.
Yeah. That they did a great job of that, actually.
Yeah.
And they're completely underrated as a band. They note some of their biggest influences as Queen and some of these really, really sophisticated and talented bands. I think that they get grouped into this weird genre just because of who they came up with and the time that they were a band. But everybody in that band is extremely talented. They shred, and they are really good at music composition, and that's something that I like too, because I consider myself a songwriter. I feel like the way that they actually write their songs and the melodies and the parts that they're able to kind of put together, there's a reason that they just went on a stadium tour with Blink-182, and they're finally getting some kind of flowers and making
that last album they put out was dope. They did such a good job on that.
It was really good.
A Latin influence too, and a lot of their drum stuff, and flamenco, and dude, those guys absolutely crush it. I mean, didn't they sell out the arena in San Diego or LA twice by themselves?
Sure did. Yeah, I mean, they're hometown heroes over there.
Yeah,
for sure. And they've got that Spanish influence for sure, and they have that whole they're so good. Yeah, I think it was on their second album they did one of those crazy flamingo kind of guitar
yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was
and they have a ton of stuff with the drums in there too. It really separated them and kind of gave them their own very unique style, which I think is super important. And in music, you know, it's like there's a lot of copycats, but it's like when you're paving your own path, it's pretty exciting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, another one that was kind of cool that I've noticed is Kellen from Sirens. All the stuff he's doing now, the haunted mouths and just all the crazy shit he's got coming out. It's like, damn, dude. I didn't because he grew up in my town. Like he went to high school at the big high school in Grants Pass, and like he and his wife still actually live in Medford, and so it's kind of cool to see the whole Sirens thing. And then Jesse Lawson's a good friend of mine who was in Sirens for the first few albums.
Yep.
And see how Kellen's grown and turned in from being kind of a douche to what he is now. He's actually a super nice guy now, which is awesome. And like family guy and putting in all these different projects of like, okay, you're not just the pop punk emo guy. You can do this, you can do that. And so
it's weird. I feel like after Sirens kind of like took like a weird like hiatus, like you said, he was doing like all these like features and like guest vocals on like there was not a song out there where it wasn't like featuring Kellen Quinn. Like he was just on everything at one point. And I was like, wow, this guy, and it was nice because he was branching out. He wasn't just doing his like signature like high like high falsetto or high tenor like sing scream thing. Like he was actually like showcasing his voice, which is fucking fantastic to begin with. It was cool to see him do these other things. And then it's his new project, what, Haunted Houses or something like that.
I thought it was Haunted Mouths, but it might.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. I'm not sure. I just heard like one song and I was like,
I just downloaded the whole thing. I'm like, damn, like
I've only heard one song and I was like, okay, I can get into this.
And from what I understand, it was recorded here with Nick James, who he was a drummer that went out with Keith Urban for a while. But he's got a recording studio here, does all kinds of crazy stuff, works for Noveske Firearms, but he's Kellen's business partner. So they have all these different projects that they're constantly putting out. It's like, damn, dude, like who knew?
Awesome.
That's it.
Yeah.
And stay busy.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know like when inspiration and when some of your best songs are going to come out, whether it's for yourself or for another artist. Like, I mean, whether you're a producer, a songwriter or anything like that, like idle hands are the devil's playground kind of thing. Like you become shittier if you don't work at your craft every single day, I mean, there's not one day where I don't pick up at least my acoustic guitar and I noodle around and I try to fuck with something else or try to figure out something new. So I kind of pride myself on that. And I think that like the artists that make it and continue to have that passion for just music in general, they're always doing it in some capacity, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
What's your process when you write music? Are you a hook first guy? Is it hook?
Yeah. I do things really backwards, and I recently spoke about this with somebody else recently, and I typically come up with lyrics first, which is very uncommon. A lot of people obviously figure out their melody or their chord progression first.
That's what Brian does. Brian Hopkins, who's one of the owners, one of the hosts here. He was I was eating dinner with him, and he was explaining that he'll have the entire thing down, and then he'll find lyrics to match.
That's honestly what most people do. I've always connected with lyrics first. I feel like, and I apologize if this interview sucks for you guys, because I don't feel like I speak very well, but I feel like I shine and I can finally get my point across and what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling best in songwriting. And even from a young age, I was a writer. Like whether or not it was songs, poetry, or just like short stories, I was always writing. And so for me, it always starts with lyrics because that's what I feel like I connect with most. Even like as a listener and an appreciator of music, I connect with lyrics first. And then if I connect with the lyrics, the music just ties it all in for me. So I typically think of like my choruses or my intros usually come up first for me. And then I'll build the songs typically around that, and I'll grab my acoustic and I'll start trying to piece together what I think will work best with it. And I kind of work backwards. So I do think it's a little unorthodox.
Are you a version person? So you'll do it one way, then you'll tweak, but keep that original, then tweak again, and then keep that one. And all of a sudden you've got this digital drive that's got 95 versions of the same song on it.
I'm the worst, and I'm my biggest critic for sure. Like I hate 99.9% of everything that I write. And so I'm constantly having to like go back, rewrite, change, go back, rewrite, change. And at some point you have to just be okay and trust it with like what you wrote, because otherwise you won't get anywhere. Like there was a show on, it's called, it was like Dave, like Little Dicky. He did this whole like episode like where he was like he's procrastinating. He can't release a record because all he does is keep like writing and rewriting and writing and rewriting. And eventually you're just spinning your wheels. So yeah, I have so many different versions of so many songs. Like some of the songs, Nick, that you have actually heard that are streaming now, they started out as R&B songs. Truthfully, like I have R&B versions of Keep Breathing and some of my other songs that were like lo-fi, like groove songs. And I was like, this isn't who I am as an artist. So I don't know why I even made this, but it's always coming out in some kind of succession or some kind of different version until I feel that I'm okay with it.
I kind of lean into that when you write something and you're just like, this isn't me or my style at all, but like I'm gonna finish the song just because I started it, and it's like
Sure.
Whatever creative thing is going through me and wants me to write this, R&B song or this, electronic song or whatever it might be, that's totally not my genre, but I'm just like, I'm just gonna follow the process here, get it done, put it in a folder, and then move on to the next thing. But
Respect.
What's your process? Are you lyrics first, John?
It kind of depends. I think it kind of like Gary was saying, it's like sometimes I'll just be like driving around and I'll just start like humming something, and then I'll put lyrics to it, and I'll be like, okay, I got a little chorus going, or maybe just hearing something in my head, and I always use my voice memo app on my phone.
Absolutely, my best friend.
Oh, dude, there's like 100 things in there, and then sometimes I'll just be sitting around noodling, like Gary was saying, just noodling on guitar, and I'll start hearing something, and you kind of just follow the process and go with it, and you can kind of feel out when you're like on to something. You're noodling and you start maybe like humming some lyrics or just like working on a little melody or a cadence, and then all of a sudden you're kind of getting onto something, and you're like, oh, okay, I gotta actually focus and work on this. And that's been challenging for me with a 2-year-old at home. I have a bunch of voice memos, and you just hear, dada in the background constantly. And I'm like, shh, I'm trying to get this idea out, honey.
You're going to have to add it. You're going to have to into the song.
Sneak it in there. But yeah, I think,
remix or something, the baby.
Yeah. But I think it really just, it just kind of depends on how the, whatever creative thing is coming to you, whether it be lyrics or you're noodling on guitar, maybe you hear something, from somebody else that inspires you. I mean, it kind of just, I don't know. It doesn't really have one specific way it comes to you. I think that's kind of part of being a creative, is it just comes to you, and then you got to figure out how to put the puzzle piece together. So
very well said. I love that.
Thanks.
Hey, Gary, so what are your thoughts on social media? So like we own a management company. So Jesse, and the other partners, we have a Lifted Artist Management. We actually manage Johnny's project. I manage Scott Bartlett's project, his new country project, and everything that we're finding is social media based, and like the way to break on radio. Like we've had multiple conversations with iHeartRadio, Sirius XM, and they now find artists strictly off of TikTok, which is insane. So there's like really like they're not looking at the talent anymore so much. They're more looking at, okay, you've got 1 million views and cool, we're gonna throw you on the radio. Because and same with talent buyers too. It's basically Spotify streams, TikTok views and stuff, because they know they're gonna sell tickets.
Well, and it's ad revenue too, right? So if you bring someone in off of TikTok that's got 1 million followers, or a video that's got 5 million views off of it, they take that same song and they throw it on Spotify. Now Spotify plays that song, and they throw a 30-second clip, and they're charging $5,500 for a 30-second clip for every 1,000 RPM. They just made $250,000. So it's nothing for them to just pluck and ride the wave.
Yeah. So yeah, what are your thoughts on it? I know that you're very active on Instagram.
That's about it. In all honesty, like I'll be completely honest, I hate that side of the business. I understand that now. It's a necessity. You have to be your own publicist, your own marketer, your own videographer, your own everything. I don't like that in all honesty, but you got to do it, so I do it. I don't find like a lot of joy in doing it. It's just kind of like part of like the process that now you have to do it. I came up in a time where all my bands that I went on tour with, like we were able to book full on like country tours, like that. Like it was very easy. You went on absolutepunk.net or you went on some kind of like music forum and you were able to hop on shows. You were able to print and press your merch. Like it was all word of mouth and it was very DIY. And I'm gonna sound like an old head in that aspect. And I like loved that because it's created this sense of like brotherhood and community, and it was so fucking cool. And it's just not that way anymore. To your point, that's exactly like what it is. We've got these TikTok stars that have one song that blow up, and now all of a sudden they think that they can sell out like multiple. Like let's just do a small venue tour, like 500 cap. You mean to tell me that outside of their hometown they're going to be able to fill 500 seats because of one video? I'm sorry, you're not. You're going to be making money like on outside areas, sure, but for longevity, it starts grassroots. You like, there's a reason that some of the bands that like I love and I have so much like respect for still to this day is because they started from literally nothing and they built it up city by city, town by town, fan by fan, t-shirt by t-shirt, and eventually, you know, they got bumped up to a major. There was enough buzz, and then, you know, they got their opportunity. I think that I'm a little salty towards social media just because, so my last name is Bender. And for whatever reason, Bender is a flagged word on TikTok. So literally, I was for the first like year or two, like I was posting stuff and I was getting like no traction, no views, no nothing. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I was trying to figure out like loopholes and ways like you couldn't search my name. You couldn't search Gary Bender. It would come up no results. So I was really pissed off that like I was taking all this time, all this energy, all this money, creating this content, and I'm missing out on this one avenue to get out my music and myself to you know, the masses, so to speak. I was kind of like handcuffed to just Instagram, YouTube, and like Facebook and shit like that. So I missed the market on TikTok really bad because of a fucking technicality. And that's like why I don't even fucking use it. Like if I wanted to use it, I'd have to like make up like a moniker. And I probably fucked myself in the past because I'm not a pop act. So billing myself as Gary Bender is a little bit different than like Dashboard Confessional, where we know like that was like Chris Carrabba, or like, you know, a guy that was a solo guy that just like made a band name around it. After all my bands broke up, I did the singer-songwriter route, and I was just playing under my own name as a singer-songwriter, and I just never changed it. So that's what we got. That's where I'm at. So to just reel back, what I'm trying to say is it sucks that so much is relied now on social media, when it should really just be about the fucking music and the fans. I get it. It's a great tool to connect with your fans. But the algorithms and the reach and the money that you need to spend just to like to have like 25 new people hear you sucks. And I can understand how that could be a huge deterrent for some artists, for sure.
Yeah, I read an article yesterday that said that currently if you have 250,000 followers or more, that you can anticipate 1 out of every 50 videos going viral for the next 6 months. That's a tremendous amount of fucking work to try to go and hop into an algorithm if you're new, right? If you're already established in the algorithm, it's not so bad. But if you're trying to break into it because it's so saturated right now, it's just hard to do.
Everybody is a fucking musician. Like it doesn't matter if you were a musician, like I said, like when I was in like 5th, 6th, 7th grade, somebody could wake up now, and again, it's technology, which is awesome. I'm not knocking technology, but anybody can buy a Focusrite, download Logic, and now be like a singer songwriter. Like it doesn't take, they can throw in some beats from Splice, they can just copy and paste some shit, and it's like, oh, I'm a singer now. Fuck you. No, you're not. You're a wannabe. Like you just jumped on this train, and now the people that have been grinding for years, you're just, and again, teach their own. Like you got this dream that you woke up one day all of a sudden, and now you want to be like a pop star at 25. Cool, go for it.
I'm saying I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to this question, but it's on topic, so we're going to go there anyways. And it's going to make one hell of a clip, Nick. What are your feelings on music with AI?
I feel like it's going to be like look, there's no doubt that like this is the way we're heading. This is the way it's going to go. It just sucks. I feel like it just takes off all the authenticity, all the passion, all the art. I'm sorry, plugging in some AI shit is not art. It's just not art. It's not fucking art. Like you sitting there for hours, just like John was talking about, like noodling around on your guitar, finding a melody that speaks to you, and then writing like profound words of something that you've gone through or somebody that you know through has gone through, and putting that to music. That is talent. That takes time. That takes dedication. That's what art is. And look, you can say that, well, AI is going to be used for good to help advance all those other things. We all know people like shortcuts. People like taking the easy road. And eventually I feel like it's just going to suck the soul out of like what a lot of these creators and artists and singers and songwriters are trying to do. So again, I sound like an old fart, but I'm just very passionate about the art in itself. It saved my life at times, like the process and the way that I've gone about and the time that I've spent like creating some of these songs has truly changed me at times. And I don't know if you're going to get that by clicking a mouse and dropping some words and being like, write a song about heartbreak on the 4th of July and make me feel this. That's not going to do it for me.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, personally, I haven't heard any AI songs where I was like, oh my God, this is just emotionally captivating and sucking me in. I will say, I did a event with Randy Travis last year. He is a big country musician, had a massive stroke, and he can't really talk or he's very limited mobility as well. But they used AI to recreate his voice and write an album in Nashville with AI recreating his voice, and it actually came out really well. And I was blown away. I was like, there's no fucking way this really happened. But they had a whole studio and musicians, and they wrote a whole album, and then they used AI to recreate his voice, and it actually worked. And I was like, okay, maybe there is some good from AI. Like,
there's that other end, and I'm not trying to sell it. I mean, I'm an IT guy, but with what John is saying, that's kind of the direction I was going to go with the conversation. A lot of different producers and engineers now are starting to lean in on AI for different tones and editing tools.
Yep.
Because and lazy is not the right word, but for ease of access, right? So you can upload a track, and you can have the AI analyze the track, and the AI will tell you this is going to meet this demographic, this is going to meet this demographic. If you change your tone here, if you alter your bridge here, if you speed this count up, if you slow this count, it will target based on editing from the AI. And so what are your thoughts about that type of stuff?
All right, that's crazy. I mean, because look, we're all trying to obviously maximize our songwriting capabilities. So for me personally, and perhaps I spoke out of turn, because the only experience that I've ever had was I was in the studio with my producer that I work with, and he's like, dude, I've been fucking around with this AI thing, and
Chat GPT.
What's that?
Chat GPT.
I mean, essentially, he was like, write a song in the vein of, and then he like named like a bunch of like punk rock artists about Gary and Maddie making hit songs, and like it spat out like 3 or 4 songs with like everything. It was like it was like completely done, and I was like, how the fuck is like this is like real life now? Like it was like it wrote a song about something that like we just thought of. So to reel it back to like what John was saying, those kinds of advances is sick, because I mean, now you get to hear like one of your favorite artists or continue on their legacy, so to speak, through technology. And for that, I think that's pretty damn cool. It's when it starts taking the place of the process and the authenticity of things, I think that's where I have the biggest gripe. I'm not against technology whatsoever. I mean, we need it. That's how we.
I'm against the huge part of it, and it's the industry that I'm in, and this is why, to protect people like you guys. Primary example, Nick, what was it 2 years ago that Eminem had to threaten a lawsuit because they created multiple songs and released pretending to be him, and it wasn't him, it was AI driven, and they couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he's going, it's not my music. I didn't release this music. I'm working on my stuff right now. And he threatened, and I don't know if it ever went or if they got pulled down, but I had listened to it at the point and thought it was him. You could not tell it was not him.
Didn't Congress, I thought I saw Congress or some law got passed basically saying like nobody can copyright or make royalties off of AI music because it's not actually generated by people.
By a human, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that kind of like, at least for the time being, that kind of squashes everything with nobody's going to want to release a song and be like, I never want to make royalties or make any money off this song for the entirety of its life. This is just for people to listen to.
The problem is, there's good in everything, there's evil in everything. So, when I was growing up and I was going through school, there's no difference between a hacker and a computer programmer besides what they're doing with the strokes of their keys. There's no different, right? Yeah. So if you use AI to do like what John was describing, create an album for somebody, that's an incredible story.
Totally.
But now you can write a song. So if you are in competition with another artist, now you could write lyrics and cut it in his voice and absolutely sync them. Right. And so there's the other end of it. It's a scary situation that is going to be interesting over the next several years to figure out what different things Congress is going to pass to protect. I have no problem. I'm not a music guy, but I understand that the tricks that can be used for producing and editing. I don't think it should be allowed to alter voice at all. But just my personal opinion. It takes the magic out of it. When I hit play on Amazon Prime for music, I want to hear you guys. I don't want to hear the computerized version of you guys. So it's different for me.
Yeah, I feel like it depends too on like the genres of music. Because I feel like I have a friend who's a big producer and electronic artist. They're playing. His new project is with the drummer Frank Zuma from 741, and they have this whole electronic project. But I know he was like sending me video clips of some of the stuff they were doing, but they were using like AI generated vocals in their songs. So like he would sing the melody and all this stuff, but then he would have AI make it like a different style voice, and it was super crazy. But I was like, I mean, I guess you're still using it as a creative tool. It's just a really crazy creative tool where, you can be like, oh, I want my vocals to sound like these singers, you know? So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the impact it has on the music industry and within the music business, just because the music business already is pretty, for lack of a better term, fucked up.
Oh, dude, it's terrible. It's so like in the last 5 years, just like seeing what's happened since COVID hit and seeing where we're at now, it's like, man, it's almost depressing to try to break. So like you have anybody that wants to break into the music scene of like, and you can't go DIY anymore. You can't do the walk around town, hand out handbills. Nobody cares. You can't.
Yeah. You gotta
just shake your hand. Nobody gives a shit.
You really have to play into the current trends. I mean, it's just like Gary was saying, it's like it's kind of unfortunate. I grew up probably at the tail end of that that very DIY, where you're using Indie on the Go and all these websites to book your tours and jump on tours and meet other artists and stuff. But now, like you're saying, it's just like the landscape is completely different. It's like I put all of my resources and time and energy into, content and online videos versus, I used to just go around town and hand everybody handbills and give everybody a free CD and tell everybody to come to my show, Oh, yeah. So.
Yeah. The other thing too, like you go to shows now, you can see some of the older artists are like the impact it's having on them. They're less enthusiastic about playing shows. They're just, kind of just going through the motions. I went to a Daughtry show, like, for example. I went and saw them full band, electric, and you could tell Chris was just like, fuck this is stupid. I have to do exactly what my label says. And it was right at the tail end. JP was leaving the band as the bass player. They were dropping their record deal. Chris was starting his own thing to do the next 2 albums. The next show I saw him at was on the Bare Bones tour, where they're fully acoustic, and everybody in the band was just like free. They're happy. They're like, we don't have to post on social media if we don't want to. We don't have to do this. We don't have to do that. We're going to create the shit the way we wanted to create it. And then just hanging out with the guys and talking to them, it was a whole different vibe backstage. It was like, damn, this is cool. Like, you guys are going back into what you believed in 15 years ago and got rid of all the influence of the bullshit. And now you're back to putting out music that you're proud of, that you believe in. And
there's also probably like that side of like fatigue too, because for sure he probably had to like do some kind of content over and over and over again of the same songs that he was playing on tour. He was probably like, you're probably in burnout. Like, you get over it. You're like, it's not like the same anymore. If like you just have to put it out over and over and over again to keep yourself in an algorithm, it loses a little bit of its allure. So yeah, I'm sure they were like, fuck this. I've already done this 30,000 times in the last 2 weeks. Like, it's just not fun.
Yeah. And then I feel bad as like managing bands like Johnny, like, hey man, did you post this and this and this? You need to have all this content out. And it's like, it sucks. It's like going to these guys, and it's like Scott and his new project, and because he's so old school, he doesn't understand. Yeah, he doesn't understand the algorithms, doesn't understand how everything works. And it's like, bro, you've got to post 3 times a day. We have to ask the stupid questions that make absolutely no sense and make you look cringe just to get you into the algorithm. But you went viral. You made $800 off a post. So we definitely have to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just, and it's like, so by the end of the week, they're just like, God, do we have to keep doing this? Like, yeah, like, you want to get shows, you want to make $7,500 a night. Yes, we have to do this to get you to that point.
Well, and Meta, which not a lot of people know, but Meta's switching their algorithm set again. And so industries are going to be categorized differently within Meta. So Instagram and Facebook, and the way that you do. And Nick and I warned him about this about 9 months ago. The way that you grab the little niche traffic, the, hey, Pepsi or Coke, which one's better? Those work great right now, but those are going to be going by the wayside. You'll actually start in a matter of months, you will start losing index points for making posts that aren't relevant. And so it's which is going to be a brand new learning curve for everybody.
And Meta is also running TikTok in the States now too. So they are overseeing everything within TikTok in the US. So if you go to TikTok now, you notice it has all the same Meta settings, and it pushes those videos out into Meta's algorithm. So your videos should be doing better now. And it's just, it's a lot of crazy stuff that every day it's like, okay, that's a trending word. Shit.
Yeah.
Make sure we get that in there.
You send me stuff all the time, and it's like, I mean, some stuff works, some stuff doesn't. I mean, for instance, like Instagram, everything I post on Reels gets 15 to 25,000 views. But everything I post on Facebook and Instagram and even YouTube, I'm stuck in the hundreds, and it makes no sense. Same video, same content, same tags.
From what I understand, Instagram is pushing their platform to be more Reels based, less picture, less text.
Yep.
And that's why they're giving people more views.
It's because Facebook is going back to static.
Yep.
They're going to be static first. So you have to remember that the prime demographic for Instagram is 18 to 30. Facebook now is 28 to 50.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so the target audience between the two platforms is changing.
Yeah.
So it's evolving. All right, guys, let's lighten up a little bit. Favorite food, what is it?
Oh, I like anything Tex-Mex. I'm like tacos, burritos, chimichanga.
Chili relleno fan?
What's that?
Are you a chili relleno fan?
No, what is that?
You don't know what a chili relleno is?
No.
Oh, dude, it's an Anaheim pepper that is stuffed. So it's stuffed with cheeses, can have meats in it, and then it's egg washed, fried, and then enchilada sauce on the top of it.
Fuck yes. There's no way that you can't not like that. How? No, I'm not even going to sit here and pretend like, yeah, dude, I eat them all the fucking time. No, I have never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I mean, outside of tacos, it's my favorite Mexican dish.
Which is crazy because I'm actually Italian. Well, I'm Italian and Irish. And I do love my Italian food, but like I'll be completely honest, Italian food in Southern California is absolute trash. Like they're like I don't even bother trying to eat it here. Like I just don't because the only time that I ever actually have the Italian food that I crave is like when I go back home to visit my family in like Jersey.
You ever
Like
go to Vegas?
that's it. What's that?
Vegas has got some hot Italian places, dude.
Does it?
Oh. Yeah,
Sick.
yeah.
Well, that's not too far away. I can do that.
I'm in Vegas probably 7 times a year, and I eat well when I'm there. What about you, John? Favorite food?
I'd probably have to go Thai food. I'm a huge sucker for Thai food. I mean, I eat a lot of Mexican food, but
Are you a
Thai
curry
food?
fan?
Yeah, like just curries, noodle, rice dishes,
The patsy.
northern Thai food. It's just, oh man, it's my go-to. It's probably a problem. My wife jokes with me. I mean, I got my wife kind of on the train now, but she jokes with me all the time. She's just like, what do you want to eat tonight? And then she like will roll her eyes. She's like, Thai food, and I'm like, Thai food.
But Nick's only 4.5 feet tall, so he's allowed to get Happy Meals with toys and a chocolate mousse.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's funny. I'm on a sandwich kick right now, man. I'm hitting all the food trucks up, getting all that work. We do a grilled cheese thing up here every year that basically money goes into the Josephine County Food Bank. So it's for a good cause. And I love sandwiches, so it works out really well for me.
Are you a grilled cheese and tomato soup guy, Nick?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude.
Same.
Yeah,
Oh,
tomato
my God.
basil soup.
Oh yeah.
So I've been hitting up all the food trucks and getting all the sandwiches, doing videos, and kind of getting to the point where I get a lot of free food now. So that's kind of cool.
Nice. There you go. Get the plug.
So what's next for you, Gary? What's on your agenda?
I'm actually hitting the studio this weekend and next week. I'm following up. I'm going to be working with my producer, and I've got like 3 or 4 songs that I'm going to be writing and recording, and then hopefully I'll be doing some kind of like West Coast tour this spring, this summer. It's obviously very costly to tour nowadays, especially without any backing, but it is good being like a solo artist and not really having like a full-on band. I've been having to resort to, again, I'm rolling with the times and rolling with technology. So it's very new to me as well. I'm used to having a full band to like rock out with. And now I'm using like a lot of backing tracks and stuff like that to help me, to allow me to like perform live and to tour easier. So new songs to follow up and I'll probably wind up making it like a full length. So all the songs that I did the waterfall releases with will be on this like the record that I create with these last 3 or 4 songs, and I'll probably release that this summer. And then support with some regional shows and just keep trucking away. That's all you can keep doing.
Yeah, hit me up when you set up the tour too, because I've got a venue in Grants Pass that we definitely have you out for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that, man. I appreciate that. I will absolutely take you up on that. That's awesome.
What chair are you sitting in? I keep trying to see the name on the chair.
Oh
yeah, racing seat.
Yeah.
All right.
Not gonna lie, I got it off of like Facebook Marketplace for like $40.
Nice.
It's cozy. It's a chair.
My wife bought me the one that I made. It's a secret lab chair, and I will never go back. But they're expensive.
Oh dang.
Very expensive. All right. Any John, Nick, any last questions? Wrap this thing up.
Yeah, who was your if you could open for anybody, who would it be with?
Oof. If I could open for anyone. So
Or just co-headline?
I'm weird as a musician. That's such a loaded question, but I like love it. I love music in general, so I feel like it's difficult. I love everything from country to jazz to metal to punk rock. But I feel like my niche and my genre is always along the lines of like pop punk and hardcore. I have to go with Old Faithful. It's got to either be like Green Day or Blink-182. I mean, the bands that like really got me into like wanting to learn to play guitar. I love seeing Billy Joe Armstrong still out there commanding like these arenas, like he just owns everyone, and they haven't skipped a beat. Like they're the same band, and I just have very great fond memories of getting to see them with my dad and with my family. I mean, I've seen like they were very involved with like making sure that like I got to like actually experience my inspirations at least once. So those all will always hold a very dear place to me. So I feel like if I could open and play with one of those, I'd want it to be like something that like meant something to me and my family. So probably Green Day or Blink for sure. It's such a generic answer, I'm sure, but yeah.
No, it's awesome.
Not
man.
a
I
bad
do
one
the same
by
thing
any
with my
means.
kids. Like two of my kids are very into music, so I make sure. Like my daughter is a huge Andy Grammer fan. He's a buddy of mine, so every time he comes through, he hits me up, and they get to go out to dinner, and she asks him all kinds of
Sick.
questions and hangs out. And then my son's a drummer, so he got to hang out with Matt Sorum and the drummer from Eve. The Eve Sixes. Those guys were all buddies of mine, so he got to hang out with the drummer from Eve Six for a while. He's got to hang out with Gin Blossoms. Just anybody he wants to go see, he gets to hang out with. Matt was on tour with Hollywood Vampires, so he got to hang out with all those guys. And he didn't know who Alice Cooper was, so it was kind of embarrassing. I'm like, bro,
Oh no.
bro. He's like, yeah, Dad, there's there's Johnny Depp's here, and Matt from Guns N' Roses, and then Stone Temple Pilots, one of the DeLeo brothers was on that show. He didn't know the two main guys though, the Alice Cooper and the Aerosmith guy. And I'm like, oh no. But yeah, so I always try to make sure that my kids get that and they get to experience that kind of stuff. It's like super cool, and it's like feeding their dreams and like shows them it's anything's possible.
Respect, man. That's awesome. I love that.
It is great.
Perfect. Hey, what do you think about part 2 with Scott and Brian? I think that you get along really well with them.
Fuck yeah.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Nick, you'll set it up.
Yeah, I will set it up. Sorry.
Perfect. That's right.
I glitched too. Mine froze for a second. I was like, oh shit.
There.
I'll edit that delay out. Post-production. It's all good. Thanks for joining Grind Lifestyle Podcast. I am Jesse Dugas. That is Nick Martin. That is John Davis. That is Gary Bender. Make sure you go check out their social media accounts as well as ours. Give us a like and a follow.